Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashita Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashita Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashita Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gaurkishora Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Padadash Raghunath Shard Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्यामा कुंड की जाय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाय की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शिशिमार भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। तदीय शुभ आविर्भाव तिथि की जय। श्री तिथि पालन करी भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्री रासा-पाñcādhyāyī की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायणीति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तरभक्ताय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तम् अनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयमुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदन्तस्तो ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतं। नष्टप्रयेष्ववद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। tavai vasmi na jivami tvaya vina. Eti vigyaya radhe tvam nayamam charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshay kshiptashtakama ditaranga madhe. Kripa maitam sharanam prapana vrinde namaste charana ravindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo, Madhavi Didi, Dandavat Pranams, and Ganga Mataji, and Pradyumna Prabhu, and I think Raseshwari Mataji is also here. Today is the appearance day of her Param Gurudev, and Indira Mataji, I'm sure, will be coming soon. And Sudevi Didi, Dandavat Pranam, and Rup Manjari Didi will be watching later on, as she's been with every reading. Today's her Guru Maharaja's appearance day. Okay, so I'm just going to do a short Srimad Bhagavatam reading today so that we can move on to the glories of Srila Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Wait, am I sharing my screen? Yes, I am. So we're going to read glorification from Srila Bhakti Vijñāna and Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. There's also a beautiful glorification by my Gurudev, but it's a little too long, and so that's why I decided to. Okay. So the previous chapter ended with, let's read the last. Okay. Bhagavan Shri Krishna threw his arms around the Rajasundaris and embraced them. He pressed their palms, touched their braids, thighs, waists, and breasts, joked with them, playfully scratched them with his fingernails, delightfully glanced at them, and laughed with them. In this way, he aroused their transcendental lust, the supremely glorious erotic prem, and gave them pleasure by spreading with them. Being so highly honored by Sri Krishna, the Supreme Lord and Supreme Lover, the gopis became proud, and each one considered herself the finest woman in the world. Sri Keshav observes that these Rajaramanis were overly proud due to their good fortune and were now exhibiting man also. In order to quell their pride and satisfy them by dispelling their indignation, he suddenly disappeared from their assembly. Shri Shukadev Goswami said, "O Parikshit, Bhagavan Shri Krishna suddenly disappeared. When the Rajasundaris did not see him, they became like a herd of female elephants who have lost their mate. In the gopis' hearts, the fire of separation bursts into flames. Those gopis' hearts had already been completely attracted by Ramapati Shri Krishna, by his way of walking like an intoxicated elephant, by his very sweet smiles radiating prem, by his playful glances, by his charming love chatter, and by his many other inviting gestures and stratagems. Those Vrajadevis, overwhelmed in prem, became completely one with Krishna, the husband of the goddess of fortune, and they began acting like him. In this way, Krishna's beloved Vraj Sundaris, the lovely damsels of Vraj, became like him, copying all his mannerisms, his carefree way of walking, his sweet laughing smile, his infatuating glances, and his ambrosial words. The moods underlying all of Krishna's inviting gestures infiltrated the gopis' bodies, and they became maddened. Remembering his amorous pastimes, they took on his nature, and as they mimicked his amorous activities, they avowed, I am Krishna. When those gopis' absorption in Sri Krishna subsided a bit, their mood also changed. Altogether, they loudly sang about Sri Krishna's qualities and became intoxicated. In this mood, they started searching for their beloved, going from one forest to another, looking in every dense thicket. O Parikshit, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, like the sky, is everywhere, pervading inside and outside all the inert and conscious objects. He was not far away from them, but the gopis, not seeing him in their midst, asked the trees and creepers where he was. The Vraj Devis first went to the very large trees, and they asked, Hey Ashwata, hey sacred berry tree, hey Plaksha, holy fig tree, hey Nyagroda, banyan tree. Nanda Nandan Sham Sundar has stolen our minds with his love-filled smiles and glances, and he has absconded with them. Have you seen him? So that's where we read up to yesterday, and we're going to read the next 3 verses where they're asking different trees and plants. So, 1 second. Haribo, Rukmini Didi, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to your Guru Maharaj. And Haribo, Prajumna Prabhu, and Mantramurti Mataji. Oh, I already said that. Okay. Kachit Kura Kachit Kura Pakashoka Nagapunaga Champaka Ramanuja Manininam iti ito darpa harasmita. O Kurabakachi, O Ashoka, O Naga Keshara, Punaga, and Champa. That's younger brother of Balaram, Sri Krishna Chandra, who mitigates the impertinence of all haughty women with just a sweet, gentle smile. Has he passed this way? Srila Sridhar Swamipad's Bhavarta Dipika. The Kurabaka and other trees are noble because they do welfare for others by offering their flowers and other bodily parts. Thinking in this way, the gopis asked them, O Kurabaka, O Ashoka, Sri Krishna's soft, sweet smile pulverizes the pride of arrogant ladies. Have you seen him going down this path? Srila Jiva Goswami Pad's Vaishnav Toshani. These Ashvata trees are so exalted that they ignore us as insignificant. Therefore, they won't give us any information. Thinking in this way, the gopis approached Kurabaka and Ashoka trees as described in this verse, starting with Kachit. Hey Kurabaka, O tree always full with red blossoms. Hey Naga, Naga Keshara. Has Balaram's younger brother gone this way? Is he hiding somewhere nearby? In the previous verse, the gopis asked, Have you seen him? You are so tall, so you can see very far away. But now they're asking, Ito, passing by here. Has he passed this way or has he gone some other way? Please tell us. If he cannot reply easily, then if he indeed passed this way, his footprints will be here and we will follow his footprints. The original word used in this verse was itaha, which refers to the particular path. But others read it as gata, which indicates several paths. Srila Sridhar Swamipad has accepted itaha. Have you seen him passing through this place? Ramanuja is to be understood as Nandasuno, meaning being the younger brother of Balaram, the crown jewel of noble persons. Being the crown jewel of Balaram. My God, don't know what's wrong with me. Being the younger brother of Balaram, the crown jewel of noble persons, we put our trust in him. You may be wondering how he managed to steal the hearts of us proud ladies. The gopis continued. His smile is so stupefying that it demolishes the arrogance of haughty women. That smile has robbed us of our hearts. Displaying that smile indiscriminately to every young damsel as he roams about, he is unaware of the havoc he is wreaking. We glowered at him, and by his duplicitous smile, he has pilfered our mighty pride. This is why we are searching for him. We cannot live a moment in separation from that supremely captivating person. Therefore, we are asking you if you know where he is. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Sarartha Darshini. The gopis entered a flower garland and thought to themselves, we should ask these pure-hearted trees who welcome the bees as their guests with the honey flowing from their flowers. With this mood, they went to the flowering trees and asked about Sri Krishna. Hey Kurabaka, hey Nagakeshara, where has Krishna gone? Is he hiding nearby? The trees might question. Why are you? How do trees talk? I don't know. Why are you asking for him? To this, the gopis replied, we were bounding with pride, and with his gentle, captivating smile, Krishna snatched away our precious pride and left us poverty-stricken. That is why we are searching for him. Suddenly, the wind blew, shaking the tips of the branches. Seeing this, the gopis thought, these trees are shaking their heads to indicate we don't know. Therefore, what is the use of asking these hard-hearted male trees? There is no possibility of getting any fruit from them. Let us go somewhere else. Kachit tulasi kalyani govinda charana priye sahatvali kular bibhrad drishtasteti priyochuta. Male trees did not reply. The gopis inquired from the female bushes. O sister Tulasi, your heart is so soft, and you desire everyone's welfare. You have so much prema for the lotus feet of Govinda, and he loves you so much. Therefore, he always wears your garland surrounded by bumblebees over his heart. Have you seen our beloved Sham Sundar, who never fails to display his loving nature? Srila Sridhar Swamipad's Bhavarta Dipika. Hey Tulasi, that Achyuta who holds you so dear that he always wears you as a garland with a buzzing with bees. Have you seen him? Srila Jiva Goswami Pad's Vaishnav Toshini. The trees, being male, will naturally side with Sri Krishna. Furthermore, they will feel an animosity towards us, knowing that we are upset with him, and surely they will not give us any information. But this Tulasi, she will take our side because she is a female like us, and she is very dear to Krishna. Because of this, she has amassed great good fortune. She is so fortunate that she must have seen our beloved. Assuming this, the gopis addressed Tulsi, speaking this verse, Kachit. Hey Kalyani, O you who bestow auspiciousness upon the world, you are supremely fortunate because you are very dear to the lotus feet of Govinda, Gokul Chandra. Srimad Bhagavatam, verse 37 from the previous chapter, says that Lakshmi Devi has permanent place on Sri Narayan's chest, but after meeting with Tulsi, she develops the desire to serve Krishna's lotus feet. Charan is used to show respect, just as Acharya Charan, the venerable preceptor. Here in this verse, the gopis use the term due to feeling humility in front of Tulsi. This is why they say, Hey Gokulendra Priya Tulsi, O you who are so dear to the Prince of Gokul. By this, they implied that Krishna will surely come, Saha, with. Tulsi is so dear that Krishna wears her as a garland, even though it is swarming with bees. This is testimony to Tulsi's outstanding qualities. Purport. You have such qualities that even you are surrounded by buzzing bees. Achyuta tolerates the disturbance of the bees and keeps you on his chest. We know only Krishna, no one else. Even so, he left us. In other words, the gopis were trying to say, Krishna left us, and now he loves Tulsi so much that he even tolerates the swarms of bees. His attachment for her is so great that he is not disturbed by the hordes of bees who are a nuisance. It is impossible for Krishna to hide with the intoxicated bees buzzing around him. Still, he does not remove the garlands, nor does he shoo them away. Therefore, O Tulsi, being attracted to your love, Krishna must have come near you. We conclude that you have surely seen him. Tell us where that Achyuta is now. The word Achyuta has a double meaning. He never leaves you, as he does with us. Therefore, you certainly must have seen him. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Sarartha Darshini. The gopis were thinking, the bushes and the creepers will take our side because they are also female. They will surely understand the pain in our hearts. Definitely, they will show us compassion. The gopis went to Tulasi, the most prominent of the bushes, and inquired about Krishna with this verse, Kachit. Hey, Kalyani, O most auspicious one, the reason for addressing her thus is this. Because we are separated from Krishna, we are devoid of auspiciousness. You are the fortunate one, because you are Govinda Charana Priye, dear to Govinda's lotus feet. Charan is used to show reverence, just as in Acharya Charan, the honorable teacher. Tulasi might have questioned the gopis. Aren't you also dear to Govinda's lotus feet? The gopis reply, what you are saying is true, but compared to us, you are many times more fortunate because there is no chance of Krishna leaving you. You do not have to endure the pain of separation. He always gives you shelter at lotus feet. This indicates your good fortune. He keeps you on his chest even with the bees buzzing all around. With the bees. By this the gopis meant to say, O Tulasi, you are endowed with extraordinary qualities. Therefore, Krishna keeps you on his chest while tolerating the disturbance of hundreds and hundreds of bees. Sri Krishna, who loves fragrances, has left us because we are not fragrant like you. This is our final conclusion. Haribo, Gopikanta Prabhu, Indira Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, and Champak Didi, and Yashji, Haribo. Malata Darshiva Kachin, Malike Jatiyutike, Pritim Vo Janayan Yataha, Karasparshena Madhava. Now the Vrajaramanis are asking the fragrant jasmine creepers and bushes. There's a footnote here. Malati grows on a creeper. The other varieties of jasmine flowers grow on small bushes. Okay. Hey, Malati, Malika, Chameli, Jati, and Juhi, did our beloved Madhav pass by here and elate you by picking your fragrant flowers and touching you with his soft hands? Srila Sridhar Swamipad's Bhavarta Dipika. Laden with many good attributes, many, many flowers, these creepers and bushes are bowing down in humility. From this, the gopis concluded that these creepers have surely seen Krishna. The gopis asked, Hey, Malati, Malika, Jati, and Juhi, Sri Madhav, by touching you with his hands, has aroused your love. Have you seen him? Which way has he gone? It should be understood that Malati and Jati are two varieties of jasmine. And what about Juhi? Let's see what Juhi is. I'm just curious. Juhi flower. Okay, that's Juhi. So these are all different varieties of jasmine, I guess. Srila Jiva Goswami Pad's Vaishnav Toshani. Tulasi did not talk to us because she is so proud of being the recipient of Krishna's affection. So now we will ask the Malati creepers. Naturally humble, they bow down and serve Krishna by offering him their flowers. They are his maidservants, but still they are devoid of pride. Therefore, if we inquire from them, surely they will reply. The gopis spoke this verse with this intention. Hey Malati, hey Malika, have you seen our beloved Madhav? Being very anxious, the gopis addressed each and every creeper. Srila Sridhar Swamipad has explained Kachit as meaning at any time. Have you seen him at all? The meaning is this. Hey Malati, hey Malika, the signs of Madhav having touched you with his hands are visible on your bodies. This means that you have seen him. Therefore, the gopis were inquiring with a special intensity. Have you seen Madhav? What is the reason for Sri Krishna having touched your bodies? The reply. The reply? Should it be they reply? They reply. Madhav Sri Krishna loves flowers in the same way that springtime Madhav loves them. Therefore, with his own hands, he has picked the very best flowers from the tips of your branches. Another speaking to him. God, sorry guys, I don't. In this way, he has aroused ecstatic pleasure, priti in you, and he has moved on, yata. He left you also, so your sufferings and ours are the same. Therefore, it is quite appropriate for us to talk about him with you. He caressed you and left you hanging. He did the same with us and tossed us into an ocean of misery. Noticing the scratch marks Krishna left on the flowering plants, his maidservants, the gopis teased the creepers, feeling a bit jealous. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Sarartha Darshini. This Tulsi, intoxicated with her good fortune, didn't even look at us. Therefore, seeing us as her co-wives, she did not tell us Krishna's whereabouts, even knowing where he is. Alas, we are totally bereft of good fortune. Lamenting in this way, the gopis approached the Malati, Jati, Malika, Utika, and other flowering creepers and bushes and asked, Hey, Malati and other jasmines, flowers are very dear to Sri Krishna. Has he passed this way? Did he touch your limbs and pick your flowers, thereby leaving you elated? In the rainy season and autumn, the Malati and Jati produce profuse blossoms. Jati and Chameli are different varieties of jasmine. Oh, sorry, yeah, anyways. Okay, so we'll be ending with this verse. What's Utika look like? Utika. They're all so similar. Utika. Okay. Chuta priyala panasasana vidara jamvarka bilva bakulamra kadamba nipa yenye parartha bhavaka yamunopakula Shangsantu Krishna Padavim Rahitatmanamna. Now the Vrajdevis asked the fruit trees, Hey Rasala, Priyala, Kattahala, jackfruit, Pitashala, Kanchanara, Jambu, rose apple, Arka, Bel, Molasiri, Amra, mango, Kadamba, Nipa, and other exalted trees of the Yamuna's bank. All of you live just for the welfare of others. Our lives are empty without Krishna, Sri Krishna, so please tell us where he is. Srila Sridhar Swamipad's Bhavarta Dipika. All these fruit-bearing trees satisfy the living entities by giving charity. They must have seen Krishna. Thinking like this, the gopis asked them, O Chuta and other trees, you are residents of a holy place, accepting birth as trees on the bank of the Yamuna, living for the welfare of others. We have lost our soul, and there is a void in our hearts. So please tell us which path Sri Krishna has taken. Chuta is one type of mango, and Nipa is a kind of kadamba. Srila Jiva Goswami Pad Vaishnav Toshini. The gopis thought, because these Malati, Utika, and other creepers are Sri Krishna's maidservants, they are fearful and would not say anything. Therefore, in this verse beginning with Chuta, the gopis, seeking information on Krishna's whereabouts, asked other trees who are knowledgeable like sages. Chuta is a type of creeper, mango, and Amra is one variety of mango tree. The poets of eastern India use the word creeper for the mango trees whose branches bend downwards, which in central India look like creepers. The Vishwa Prakash dictionary defines Nipa as a type of kadamba, called Dhuli kadamba, having large flowers and a lot of pollen. The seeds of the Priyala are commonly known as the edible charu bij. Panasa is the jackfruit tree. Asana is the pitashala tree. Kovidara is the yugapatraka, which is known in the Vindhyachala mountains as the Koyilabha tree. Kanchana is one kind of kanchanchara, or mountain ebony tree. Arka is a very significant plant. That the Vrajadevi acquired from such a common plant clearly shows their extreme eagerness. In this way, the gopis took the name of every tree and asked each one individually in which in which direction did Krishna go. The trees appeared to be saying, how will we benefit by telling you where Krishna is? The gopis replied, Parartha Bhavaka, you have taken birth simply to benefit others. In the original text, Parartha Bhavaka is written of Parartha Bhavaka. What's the difference? The only difference is this has a H with the. Okay. According to Srila Sridhar Swami Pad, Bhavaka is read without the second E, because he interprets it Bhava as birth. The version of Bhavika, where an E is inserted in front of the Ka suffix, according to the rules of Bahuvrihi Samasa, is seen everywhere. It means auspiciousness and prosperity. Both spellings ultimately give the same meaning. What's a Bahuvrihi Samas? Okay, so Samas is a compound, and Bahuvrihi literally means much rice, but denotes a rich man, literally, one who possesses much rice. In this case, it means those who are full of auspiciousness for the sake of others. Okay. Okay. All these trees have taken birth just for others' welfare. Furthermore, because of their austerities, they have taken shelter of the bank of Yamuna and have become residents of a holy place. Therefore, they are trustworthy and merciful. They will surely tell us the truth and not cheat us. With this intention, the gopis asked the trees, please tell us the path Krishna has taken. Yamuno Pakula means near the bank of the Yamuna. Upa means near, and Kula means bank. If the trees would say, you yourselves should I can't talk, should search for Krishna. If the trees say that, then the gopis reply in a pathetic tone, Rahitatma manam. Rahitatmanam na. God, I don't know what's wrong with me. Suddenly I can't read. Rahitatmanam na. Because of separation, we have lost our intelligence. Therefore, we are practically dead and not capable of searching. The gopis asked all the trees and plants, "Have you seen Krishna?" Previously, they did not receive any answer. So now, becoming clever, they simply prayed to find out which path Krishna took. Earlier, the Vrajramanis asked the Ashvata and other trees, "Can you tell us where Sri Krishna has gone?" But they received no reply. Here, using their ingenuity, they humbly requested the trees to simply inform them which path Krishna took. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Sarashini. Those malati and other bushes know where Sri Krishna is, but because of fear of their co-wife, Tulsi, and Sri Krishna, they would not tell us. Therefore, there is no use to ask these bushes who are not independent agents. Thinking like this, the gopis approached the mango, jackfruit, and other fruit trees. Seeing those trees, they thought, "These trees are motionless, as if holding their breath, and are riding on the bank of the Yamuna. It seems that they are completely absorbed in remembering Sri Vishnu. Thus, they will never lie to us." Having this faith, they spoke this verse starting with Chuta. Chuta is a mango creeper. Am is a mango tree. Nipa is a dhuli kadamba with big flowers. There are smaller flowers called kadamba, which are very fragrant. Priyala is one type of shala tree, prized for its wood. Asana is the yellow shala tree. Kovidara is a type of kanchana tree. Arka is a significant akhanda weed. Still, it is very dear to Gopeshwar Mahadev and thus always grows near him. They also pray to the coconut, betel nut, and other trees. Which way has Sri Krishna gone? Please be merciful and tell us which path he has taken. In separation from him, everything has become void. The trees might ask, "Why should we tell you?" To that the gopis reply, "Parartha bhavaka, you have taken birth only for the welfare of others, and you are living on the bank of the Yamuna. Therefore, you are residents of a holy place. Thus, you will surely help us." So tomorrow we will read from verse 10. O beloved of Bhagavan, Prithvi Devi, Earth Goddess, what sort of austerities have you performed that you attained the touch of Sri Krishna's lotus feet and thus became so blissful that you began horripilating in the form of the grasses sprouting up, making you look very beautiful? Are you feeling this bliss from Sri Krishna's touching you now with his lotus feet? Or maybe it arose earlier when Vamandev became Trivikram and stepped on you. Or did you feel it much earlier when Varahadev embraced you and thereby protected you? Oh, does, oh, dear friends, has a Chuta? Anyways, we'll read all this tomorrow. But now we're going to move on to the glories of Srila Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, whose auspicious appearance day is today. Rukmini Didi and Rup Manjari's Guru Maharaj and Raseshwari Mataji's Param Gurudev. So we will. Should we start with the mantra? No, let's start with this. And this is probably really long because it's coming from my beloved masters. So it's like a full chapter of book. Oh my God, look how long it is. So I'm just going to skip around the different parts. Oh my God. This is super long. Yeah, I'll just skip around and we'll just read up until for like the next 20 minutes. Let me look at the comments. Okay, exocentric refers to something outside of what is named. Okay, good to know. New word. Gopi Kantaprabhu Dandavat Pranam, by the way, and Gargarajji. But yeah, why do gopis see Krishna in every black tree and we're about to confuse them with Krishna himself? But in contrary, when they met Uddhav, who looks exactly like Krishna, they knew well that he is not Krishna. Yes, that is prem. All these very high levels of prem, like sneha, man, pranay, rag, anurag, bhav, mahabhav. These cause all sorts of different, all these. I mean, this is all explained in Ujjvala Nilamani in depth, but so many different moods and like it's impossible for us to understand actually. But that's a symptom, one of the symptoms of one of the stages of prema. I don't know which one, but yeah, they're very intricate. Okay, so Srila Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. September 29 is the appearance day of Srimad Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja in Vrindavan, India. Below is an excerpt Glories from My Beloved Masters by Srimad Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Unparalleled service to Srila Prabhupada's Brihad Mridanga. In 1922, at the age of 24, Srimad Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, then Sri Pranavananda Brahmachari, accepted complete shelter at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada on the most auspicious day of Sri Krishna Janmashtami. On that day, he accepted both Harinam and Diksha initiations and engaged himself exclusively in the service of the Mat. Previously, he had been a science student who later switched to studying the arts. After finishing his secondary schooling and receiving his Indian school certificate, he went on to study the arts at the university level and acquired a Bachelor of Arts degree. What's that mean, studying the arts, though? Does that mean, is that like general, like, or is there specifically? Knowing Sri Pranavananda Brahmachari to be well educated, Srila Prabhupada called him near and said, I desire to publish a daily spiritual newspaper titled Dainik Nadia Prakash, and I want you to be its editor. Sri Pranavananda Brahmachari asked Srila Prabhupada, what are the duties of an editor? Srila Prabhupada replied, when you begin your service and start publishing the newspaper, you will automatically understand what must be done. When a devotee accepts the responsibility of performing a service with the intention of pleasing Sri Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas, then they themselves will reveal all the necessary knowledge to him and invest him with the required competence to properly perform that service. There is no need to externally advise or instruct him on what must be done. Under the editorship of Sri Pranavananda Brahmachari, Dainik Nadia Prakash preserved and broadcast the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, and when it was distributed among the masses, it illuminated the whole world with its literary and spiritual excellence. Contemporary scholars were baffled that someone was publishing a spiritual newspaper, and that too on a daily basis. Can you imagine doing that? Printing a newspaper every single day? And it wasn't as convenient, like it wasn't so convenient like it is for us now. We had to like actually typeset it all, like probably make all the letters and stuff. Like they couldn't just like print stuff easily. They had to like, yeah, my God. I heard the following instance from the lotus mouth of Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja himself. Okay. Once while speaking with Srila Prabhupada at Sri Gaudiya Math in Bagh Bazar, Kolkata, Sri Madan Mohan Malaviya, the founder of the world-famous Banaras Hindu University at Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh, with great astonishment asked him, for how long will you be able to run this Dainik Nadia Prakash? From where will you obtain the great number of spiritual articles needed to keep it in print every day? Srila Prabhupada replied, your astonishment pales in comparison to the astonishment I feel in seeing that you, a person regarded as foremost among the best scholars of India, is expressing wonder about these concerns. This material creation is merely a reflection of a quarter of the transcendental creation. Across the globe, countless newspapers are published every day in different languages. And this Earth planet is only one part of the 14-fold planetary system, which belongs to just one of the innumerable Brahmandas in the material creation. Despite the mundanity of the articles in these newspapers, everyone feels that they are ever fresh. Therefore, why would you be astonished about the daily publishing of but one newspaper, the Dainik Nadia Prakash, which focuses on the transcendental spiritual world? In fact, we have enough transcendental content about the spiritual realm to publish numerous daily newspapers for all eternity. Approximately 75 years of his life, from the time Srila Prabhupada was physically present until well after Srila Prabhupada's departure, Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja experienced great internal bliss in his persistent and enthusiastic service of Srila Prabhupada's Brihad Mridanga, his printing press. I personally witnessed how he engaged in publication services, even in his advanced age. In his later years, his bent back prevented him from sitting straight and from writing for long periods of time. And so he used a wooden plank to support his back and continue writing. Although his hands trembled from the effect of old age, and his previously elegant handwriting gradually became less legible, he never stopped writing. Despite his advanced age, he never discontinued his service to the Brihad Mridanga, for Srila Prabhupada had personally entrusted this service to him. Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's untiring service has greatly benefited each and every devotee among the Saraswat Gaudiya Vaishnavas. During the time Srila Prabhupada was physically present, Srila Maharaj served as the editor of Dainik Nadia Prakash, wrote articles for the weekly Gaudiya magazine, and rendered various services for the publication of different scriptures, including an edition of Srimad Bhagavatam with Srila Prabhupada's commentary and his own introductory overviews of each chapter entitled Katha Sar. After Srila Prabhupada's disappearance, he became the editor of the monthly magazine Gaudiya, and later Sri Chaitanya Vani, which was founded by my Guru Padma. Additionally, he wrote numerous articles for a number of other magazines, and he edited and published many scholarly books. Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's publication services presented each of the truly sincere followers of Srila Prabhupada with an opportunity to obtain their highest spiritual welfare. For this, the Sri Saraswat Gaudiya Vaishnavas remain eternally indebted and forever grateful to him. Whether Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja is acknowledged or not, all the Gaudiya Math branches and sub-branches established in the wake of Srila Prabhupada's disappearance, as well as those that will be established in the future, everyone bears a strong, unbreakable relation, whether direct or indirect, to the transcendental words, the Vani, expounded in his literary contributions. No respectable, virtuous person will ever deny this. I'm skipping around because we have so little time to read. Okay, I'm going to read this one, and then I want to read one about when he was doing kirtan and the thief stole his money. So let's see. Let me just look at the comments. Okay, liberal arts are like Sanskrit and English. Okay. Seeing only virtues, ignoring faults. Once, Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja asked me to write a report about the spiritual activities happening at the Gokul branch of Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, where I was staying at the time. The report was to be published in the Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math's monthly magazine, Sri Chaitanya Vani. Although I had no previous experience in composing articles for publication, I followed Srila Maharaja's instruction, considering it to be non-different from that of my Guru Maharaj. I sent my finalized reports to him with the cover letter stating, Srila Maharaji, although I have no prior journalistic experience, I have written this report to the best of my limited ability. Please accept whatever you deem adequate and reject the rest. When the report was published in Sri Chaitanya Vani, I noticed that he had published it exactly as I had sent it, with not a single word omitted or changed. The next time I met with Srila Maharaj, he told me, Your writing was quite erudite. I did not find anything out of place or in need of editing, so I kept everything as it was. Hearing this reminded me of how Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami described Srila Haridas Pandit, the Pujari of Sri Govindadev Temple in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 862, by saying, Vaishnavera gunagrahi na dekhaye dosh. He accepted the good qualities of the Vaishnavas and ignored their faults. Srila Purī Mahārāja's conduct, not only in this instance, but throughout his life, served as proof that he too possessed the special quality of seeing only the positive attributes of others. Oh, this is the one I wanted to read. Cool. Okay. Pranay Bhakta. I think I might want to use this in an article on time that I was thinking of writing. Anyways, in earlier times during Ratha Yatra, the festival management used to arrange a special area in front of the chariots where devotees could perform kirtan without any disturbance. Common people were not permitted to enter there. Once, while Gaudiya Math devotees were performing kirtan in that area under the guidance of my Guru Maharaj, the servants or pandas of Lord Jagannath became so ecstatic by hearing the kirtan that they lifted Guru Maharaj on their shoulders and forcibly carried him onto the Lord's chariot. Whoa. Meanwhile, absorbed in the mood experienced by the Vrajagopis when they meet with Sri Krishna in Kurukshetra, Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja was dancing and singing the following song in front of the chariot. Sheto parananata painu jahalagi madana dahane jhuri genu. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 13:113. Now I have gained the Lord of my life, in the absence of whom I was being burned by Cupid and was withering away. While Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja was fully absorbed in singing this kirtan, all the devotees around him also became immersed in the same mood of meeting and were feeling jubilant. A pickpocket used this opportunity to steal Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's wallet from his bag. Since most of the devotees were absorbed in the kirtan, no one noticed except one of my godbrothers, Sri Narayan Brahmachari, later known as Sri Bhakti Prasad Puri Maharaj, who rushed forward and caught the pickpocket. While restraining the thief, Sri Narayan Brahmachari desperately tried to get the attention of Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, but Srila Maharaj was so absorbed in kirtan that he didn't pay any attention to his words. When Sri Narayan Brahmachari tried more insistently, Srila Maharaj suddenly became very upset and chastised him. Why are you disturbing me? Let him take the money. Money will come and go, but the mood that we are experiencing at this moment may not come again. Among the people who witnessed this, who could truly understand Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's internal mood or the cause of his irritation? It is only when one is highly sincere and spiritually mature, or in other words, completely surrendered, that one will be able to even notice such a subtle thing, what to speak of understand it. Therefore, although a Pranay Bhakta may be present before us, and though we may personally witness his conduct, we will be unable to recognize him until we become completely sincere and surrender ourselves to his will. Without sincerity and surrender, we will not realize that his activities are those of a Mahabhagavat, not of an ordinary devotee. It is only when we become truly sincere that a Pranay Bhakta out of his non-duplicious mercy, reveals his true identity and exalted position. At such a time, we will be able not only understand the conduct of the Pranay Bhaktas, but also keep it in our minds and hearts and preserve it by imbibing it in our lives. By the mercy of those elevated Vaishnavas, we will be granted the vision to clearly understand the true form of the transcendental activities and the deep moods behind them. There is no possibility that Pranay Bhaktas will manifest their mercy in a place where a fault in surrender is present. In the absence of their mercy, we will remain unable to recognize such advanced personalities. And because of this, we will at times misconstrue their conduct as being improper. Mahat kripa bina kono karme bhakti noy, Krishna bhakti dure rahu, sangsar nahe koi. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 22:51. One cannot attain bhakti without the mercy of a great devotee. What to speak of Krishna bhakti, one cannot even be relieved from the bondage of material existence. Therefore, it is only when one receives the mercy of Pranay Bhaktas that one can identify both Pranay Bhaktas and those who are sincere in their efforts to become Pranay Bhaktas. We have seen that if anyone would give even a single rupee to Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, he would take it, touch it to his forehead, and then very carefully keep it in his bag, saying, "This money has been sent by Srila Prabhupada for the service of Bhagavan." But in the above-mentioned incident, Srila Maharaj has said, "Let them take my money, but do not bother me." Why is it that he has in one instance shown such deep respect for an object he considers to be sent by Guru Maharaj for the service of Bhagavan, but in another instance, he has exhibited disregard for that very same object? Through this, Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja is demonstrating that when one is absorbed in performing a higher service, a smaller service may be automatically neglected. There is no consideration of loss or harm in this. Many people were present when the pickpocket was stealing Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's money, and each reacted to the incident according to his respective qualification. The senior Vaishnavas who were fully absorbed in kirtan and relishing the divine moods of the Rath Yatra festival were not at all agitated, whereas the junior neophyte devotees who hurried to apprehend and punish the pickpocket must have felt disappointed when Srila Purī Maharaj chastised them for disturbing his mood. When I witnessed this incident, I was reminded of a verse from Bhagavad Gita 269. Ya nisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagarti samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato mune. Intelligence related to the soul is like night for the common materialistic persons. However, a steady and controlled person with fixed intelligence remains awake in that same intelligence. The common person remains awake when the intelligence is engaged in sense objects, for he perceives who the absolute truth. For he who perceives the absolute truth, this same situation is like night. Okay, sorry. The common person remains awake with the intelligence is engaged in sense. Okay, anyways, you got the point. Sorry, guys. Materialistic persons are conscious only of things related to this material world, and their concern for collecting money is such that they may fight over a single penny. They have no time to think about their true spiritual welfare, paramartha, nor are they the least bit bothered to inquire about it. Conversely, those who are completely aware of Atma Tattva or the truth about the soul always endeavor to acquire their real transcendental wealth. They do not waste even a single moment by caring for material possessions, knowing well that such things hold no true value. And with this verse from Bhagavad Gita, I could observe that the senior Vaishnavas participating in Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's kirtan were completely absorbed. And they were completely absorbed, and their mood was similar to his. Due to their absorption, they were oblivious to the pickpocket. The neophyte devotees, however, were oblivious to the senior Vaishnav's absorption, and so their priority was to apprehend the pickpocket. Wow, very instructive story. Huh? I think I'm going to take this and send it out on the on the Vine of Devotion mailing list. I wanted to write articles on the topic of time because it's something I need to. Anyways, I think this is a good place to start with that. All right, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Oh, and I should give you the link to this article. Oh, wait. I want to read one last thing. Sorry. If you need to go, please go. But I wanted to read this. The mantra received from Srimad Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Yeah, let's read that and then I'll do Jaidvani. Okay. Yeah, I'll read this and then this was published in my Gurudev's magazine, the Bhagavat Patrika. Oops. How do you do reading mode? There. Okay. Receiving mantras replete with priceless teachings. Srila Maharaj used to say, although I received my Diksha mantras from my Guru Padma, I received various mantras from this. Oh, sorry, this is Srila Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja speaking again. So, although I received my Diksha mantras from my Guru Padma, I received various mantras from the many disciples of Srila Prabhupada. In other words, I received mantras in the form of the many teachings from them. Among those, we are presenting a few mantras here from the very words of Srila Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Tranquility experienced only at the lotus feet of exalted Vaishnavas. Busily engaged in the service of Guru and Vaishnavas, I did not have the slightest inkling as to how 24 years passed by before Guru Maharaj devised his unmanifest pastime, his uppercut lila. Thereafter, Srila Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja became our guardian. He would guide us on how to conduct ourselves, what we should do, what is appropriate and what is not, etc. Only at his lotus feet or in his shelter, I would experience tranquility, nowhere else. The mantra received from Srimad Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. That's beautiful though, huh? You only experience tranquility at the feet of Srila Bhakti Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja and nowhere else. Once, Srila Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja was ecstatically dancing in front of Sri Jagannath's chariot. Se to parananatha painu, jaha lagi madana dahane juri ghenu. Now I have gained the Lord of my life, in the absence of whom I was being burned by Cupid and was withering away. There was a bag hanging from his shoulder in which he would carry a kirtan book, bead bag, and other small miscellaneous items. Just as one pickpocket, citing an opportunity, reached into Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's bag, my god brother, Sri Narayan Kapoor, caught that pickpocket's hands and began to loudly proclaim with great pride, I have caught the pickpocket! I have caught the pickpocket! Sorry, we just read this. Anyways, I'll just finish it. Repeating this over and over again, he somehow managed to get the attention of Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, who chastised him. Money will come and go. Whoever wants it may take it. But can this mood that is now awakened be attained at all times? Sri Narayan Kapoor then said to me, I was only doing a good deed. I cannot understand why Maharaj chastised me in return. Although Sri Narayan Kapoor could not understand Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's response, I accepted the essence of his words in the form of a mantra. This is a mantra. When spontaneous bhav arises for Bhagavan, all other things become inferior in comparison. Once, under the guidance of Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, I went to Shishimad Bhakti Sarab Bhakti Sar Goswami Maharaja's mat in Mayapur to attend a deity installation festival. While honoring prasad, Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja made me sit next to him. Srila Bhakti Sarab Bhakti Sar Goswami Mahārāja, with his own hands, served par-boiled processed rice onto Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's plate. And because I was seated next to Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, he served that same rice onto my plate as well, in spite of being my Guru Varga. And par-boiled rice, that's, they boil it before, and nobody would take that kind of rice in the Gaudiya Math. Now things are more lax, but actually you're never supposed to offer that rice because it could be cooked by meat eaters even, you know what I mean? Like most people in Bengal eat meat, and then those are the ones who are cooking the rice, and it's considered, cooked by meat eaters. And so then, yeah, that's why they don't. So prior to that day, neither Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja nor myself had ever accepted par-boiled rice in our entire life. Reading my state of mind, Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja said, "Everything offered by a Vaishnava is nirgun, or transcendental." And he began to honor the rice prasad. Following Srila Maharaja's precept, I also honored the rice prasad, and from that day on, I accepted the words of Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja as a mantra and abided by them throughout my life. Once my godbrother Sri Vishnu Prabhu and I were seated with Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja at Kolkata station in a train bound for Jagannath Puri. Upon noticing us, one very affluent Grihastha Vaishnava approached and began to heavily chastise Sri Vishnu Prabhu. Later, taking a large sum of donation in his hands, he offered it to Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, who responded by saying, "You have committed an offense to a Vaishnava. What to speak of accepting anything from you? I do not even wish to speak or have any relationship with you." That affluent person said, "Maharaj, I wish to serve you. Please accept my offering." Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja retorted, "If I accept anything offered by you, then I will have to share the result of the offense you have committed. Therefore, I shall not accept anything from you." Despite his many endeavors, Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja did not accept anything from him. I noted those words of Srila Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja as a mantra. By accepting anything offered by an offender, one has to share the results of his offense. Since then, I have followed this principle throughout my life. Wow. Jai Srila Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Tadiya Shubha Avirbhav Titi ki jai. Srila Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Wow, this is so wonderful, huh? So the three mantras. Let's just read the mantras really quickly. The first mantra is, when spontaneous bhava arises for Bhagavan, all other things become inferior in comparison. And then the next mantra is, by accepting anything offered by an everything offered by a Vaishnava is nirgun, or transcendental. That doesn't actually say the mantra though. Anyways, I think that's it. And then finally, by accepting anything offered by an offender, one has to share in the result of his offense. So those three mantras. All right. Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Gandharvika Giridhari. Oh, wow. So it's been 26 days. Does that mean today is the appearance day of Chitrasaki? Rukmini Didi? Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Juki Jai. Oh, I was not sharing my screen this whole time. I'm so sorry about that, guys. Or was I? Sorry, whatever. I'm spaced out. Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Juki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Shishimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimad Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Goswami Mahārāja ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimad Bhakti Vallabha Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimad Bhakti Daita Madhava Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimad Srila Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Tadiya Shubha Avirbhav Titi ki jai. Titi Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Swaparshad Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaur Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Bhadatta Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Rāsa-pañcādhyāyī ki jai. Shri Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Oh, and Shri Chitra Saki ki jai. Tadiya Shubha Avirbhav Titi ki jai. Cool. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Oh. No worries. No, the chats aren't repeating. All right. Hare Krishna Kush Dingra. All right. Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me in this reading today. I think today at noontime I might go to Gopinath Gaudiya Math for a program there. I don't know. But then tomorrow Srila Bhaktivinoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's articles are so special. Maybe I'll read one tonight. There's a beautiful article called Guru Seva. Really amazing article. A really heavy one, but so important also. Maybe I might read that tonight. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but yeah, I'd like to read something by him at least. But if you'd like to see the article that I read, because I could only read a very small section of it since it's so long, you can find it on vcvani.com. It's the article that's featured. I'll just post the link in the comments there. I just posted it there, so you can find the rest of the article and read it on this very auspicious day. All right, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. See you all tomorrow. Haribol. Dandavat Rukmini Didi. Haribol.